Hello. It's been a while since I uploaded a video on my channel, and that was not intentional. I had a video that I still need to edit. Like, I was editing and I was excited to put it out, basically, like updating on the commercial that I was in and that I got braids done here in Mexico City. I feel like I have been having a rough time since moving to Mexico City, and I kind of talked about that a little bit in my previous video. Like, I knew that it was bothering me, but I didn't think it was so bad. Like, it has been really, really on my mind. And I don't know, I felt like making a video about it because maybe someone else is going through something similar, or maybe you have advice that you can give me to help me through this time. And as you can see by the title, it's about loneliness while living abroad and also like making adult friendships while abroad or just in general. I feel like it's so hard, at least for me, to make real, genuine friendships in adulthood. And it's a lot harder when you're abroad and not in your home country, the circles that you're used to, the people you grew up with. I kind of wanted to talk about the things that have been on my mind a lot lately. I've been thinking about them even since I was in Korea, but I feel like since leaving Korea and going back to the US and now being in Mexico, I feel like I've been thinking about this a lot more often. Yeah, that's what today's video is about. If you're interested, keep on watching. So I actually filmed this video earlier this week, but I didn't like how it came out. I even had like notes and everything, but for some reason I left them at home, so I had to write them very quickly on like a little card. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes. But the first thing that I wrote down is that it's really hard not having my support system that I made in Korea. I mentioned several times on my channel, especially when I first started on YouTube, that I am an introvert. I really thought it would be kind of challenging for me to open up to people and make the kind of genuine connections and friendships that I made in Korea and with so many people. I genuinely didn't expect it. I thought I would be locking myself at home, being homesick, not wanting to go out, not wanting to talk to people, being like closed off. I really thought that's how I would be in Korea, and it really surprised me how completely opposite my experience was. Some of the friendships that I made are like family to me and they will last me for a long time. And I feel like I just knew it when I made those friendships before we even met each other. It just felt like you guys are family to me. Like, that's it. And it feels really hard knowing that I can't just hop on a train or a bus and be at my friend's houses in like 20 minutes or an hour or 5 hours. Most of my friends from Korea have now left Korea. They're either in the US or in the UK. Some of them are still in Korea, but it is hard not being able to see them as often as I could, especially because the public transportation in Korea was efficient and cheap. And that's just not the case in Mexico in general, but also the fact that we're now all spread out all over the world. Of course, I can talk with them on social media and video chats, but it's just not the same as being physically with your friends. The second thing that I'm realizing is that making friends was much easier when I had a job. It's almost like I had built in friends automatically. Whether I wanted to talk to them or not, or whether I liked them or not, I was constantly around these people. And now that I'm unemployed, it's rough that I just wake up and I see the same four walls. And it's really lonely. I've always been okay with being by myself, but it's different when you're by yourself because you don't have a choice. Like, you don't have other people to be around. No, the sun is kind of setting and the lighting was so nice. The third thing I wrote is that I don't see many black people here in Mexico City. Before moving to Mexico City 4 months ago, I lived in Torreon, Coahuila, which is a very small city in northern Mexico. And I was one of two or three black people in the entire city. And the other black people were my coworkers. They were usually a lot older than me and also in different departments. So I was a middle school and high school science teacher. I never really saw them because they were usually elementary teachers or they're just way older than me and we don't really have much in common. I think I put this unrealistic expectation that, oh, I'm gonna move to Mexico City and I'm gonna make black friends and like at least see people that look more like me, which, like, yes, there are definitely black people here. There are darker skinned people here, but most of them are in Roma and Condesa and the touristy foreigner areas, which I very rarely ever go to. I don't live in those areas. And I also don't enjoy going there. So I don't know why I put this expectation that moving to Mexico City will magically give me black girlfriends like I had in Korea. I don't know, but kind of felt disappointed about that since moving here. Maybe it's because I went for so long without interacting with Black people that I was so excited to be in Mexico City, and then remembered, like, yeah, I'm in a big city, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna automatically see Black people. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. Anyway, let me move on to the next point. The next thing I wrote down is that I'm an introvert, so it feels really uncomfortable and scary putting myself out there to talk to literally strangers. And I know that's how you make friends. You talk with people that you don't know, and maybe you might find something that brings you together, or like realize that, you know, you're meant to be good friends. But it just feels so uncomfortable. And I know I should be comfortable with being uncomfortable and putting myself out there, because how else will I know if this person is like a good person or someone that I want in my life? But it just feels like a lot sometimes. I don't know. It just feels really overwhelming. But like on the other hand, my boyfriend is so extroverted and loves talking to people. He could literally be in a room full of strangers and somehow have everyone laughing by the end of it. And I am the complete opposite. Like, I don't want to be the center of attention. It just feels really uncomfortable putting myself out there. Again, talking to literal strangers that I don't know. I know it's something that I need to get over. One of the things that I wrote down is that it feels like, especially as an adult, at this point in your life, you have your best friends, you have your group of friends. And so it kind of feels like I'm intruding on people's groups. I don't know, like trying to step into friendships that are already established. And maybe I might get along with these people. At least for me, it feels like I shouldn't be here. Everything was going great. Y'all had a good vibe going on. Why should I come in and possibly disrupt that, if that makes sense? Yeah, maybe that's just an introvert thing. Maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. But I just feel like I'm making people uncomfortable, disrupting friendships that are already existing. I don't know. Another point that I wanted to bring up, especially with being abroad, is that it feels like a lot to put effort into friendships, knowing that people are not going to stay in a certain country for a long amount of time. A lot of times, people are only in a country for as long as their tourist visa allows them. So maybe that's a month, or 3 months, or 6 months, or they're on a study abroad, or like studying at a university or studying at a language school. But once that ends, they leave and go back to their home country. But I'm here to be here for a while, hopefully. So why am I going to put so much effort into making a friendship just for the person to leave in 2 months? Like, you know what I mean? And that's not to say that you can't make a genuine friendship out of that, because I definitely have. I mean, I left Korea. I knew that I wasn't going to be in Korea forever. I also understand that some friendships are not there to last forever. Sometimes people are in your life for seasons, but I feel like I'm at a point where I want, like, I just want friends, and I don't want to be alone. Oh, there's a bee. Ooh, please go away. Okay, I think it's gone. Ugh. Okay, what was I saying? Let me backtrack. I do have friends, but most of my friends here in Mexico City are friends of mine because of my boyfriend, which is not a bad thing, but I just want to have my own set of friends, if that makes sense. I don't know. I want to have like my own set of people. And I do have one friend that I actually met in Korea, but she is working here. She's an office girly, 9 to 5 girly, which means that we don't get a lot of time to spend with each other. And she also lives kind of far from me. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. I don't know if any of this video is really making sense. But what I'm saying is, I just don't want to put a lot of effort into a friendship just for the person to leave, and then I'm stuck at this same spot that I am. I just want friends that I can laugh with, friends that I can hang out with, friends that like get me, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm confusing myself, so I'm just gonna move on to the next point. This is more with adulthood. It feels like people are in different seasons of their lives than I am. A lot of people that I know are getting married, having kids, starting a family, buying a house, like settling down, which is great. I love that for them. But I am not in that season of my life. Sometimes it can be hard because even though you are happy for those people, and maybe I cannot relate to buying a house or having a kid, like I'm there for you and I support you, but I feel like sometimes other people feel like, oh, we have nothing in common anymore. And like, I want to talk about baby stuff, but like, you don't have a baby. So like, you kind of like push away just because you're not having so many things in common with each other. But yeah, I've noticed that since getting closer to my 30s. Ew. And the last thing I wrote down, which is very, very important, is that my Spanish needs to improve. Even though I do want Black friends, I mean, I just want a friend. As long as you're a good person, it doesn't really matter. But I know for a fact that my Spanish needs to improve. I have an okay understanding of Spanish. I grew up on the border. My boyfriend is Mexican. It's almost 2.5 years that I've been here in Mexico, but my Spanish has, I feel like, declined rapidly because I was teaching at an American school where I spoke English. All my students spoke English. Majority of my coworkers spoke English. I mean, my entire day was English pretty much, except when I was at the grocery store or ordering food at a restaurant. So I never really got to practice my Spanish. I'm genuinely shocked about that because I thought by now I would at least be like intermediate or advanced in my Spanish level. And I can't put all the blame on my job because it's also me. Like, I need to put the effort into learning Spanish and wanting to learn, and not just saying like, oh well, my job is in English, oh well, my students speak in English, oh well, all my coworkers speak in English, I guess I don't have to learn Spanish. Like, no, I shouldn't do that, and I don't want to do that. I genuinely want to learn Spanish, especially because I know that it will help me not only in making friends but also with like career opportunities. You all know I joined a talent agency, and I just did my first commercial. Like, I have a lot of different opportunities that are presenting themselves to me that I'm really excited about. But I just know if I could improve my Spanish, that would take me so much farther, a lot farther than where I am now and like where I want to be. And not only that, like, I could also communicate easier with my boyfriend's friends, with his family, even with him. Like, I'm sure like talking in English all day because of me and his job must be like, wait a minute, I'm in Mexico. Why am I speaking so much English? So that's something that I definitely want to improve on. I'm actually thinking about taking Spanish classes or like a Spanish intensive course at UNAM, Maine University here in Mexico City. Yeah, I'm really, really thinking about that, but we'll see because it's a lot of money, at least for me. But yeah, that's all the things that I wrote down on my list. If you have any tips about loneliness abroad or making friends in adulthood that you can share, or if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I will definitely be checking the comments when I post this video. And I'm sure that anyone that watches this video might also check the comments to see what other suggestions people leave, but it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for sticking through with my channel. If you're still here, even though I go through periods where I'm not uploading, I've just been feeling not that great lately, and I want to make videos. I'm gonna make a video updating about the commercial I did. The problem is that the contract I signed, I can't really talk a lot about it, which kind of sucks, but I will be making like a video reflecting on that. There's a lot of things, hopefully, that are happening in the future that I'm really excited about. I just hope I get out of this headspace so I can want to pick up the camera and share all of that with you all. I think talking about it helped me feel better, to be honest. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!